Well, here we are with the man of the hour. Tell us about your interest in wood carving.
Well, my interesting was it's not interesting in a sense, but I grown up in the Maroon community
Yeah?
where that's people my generation we learn to do those things.
Well, I know you told me you were from
I'm from Suriname,
Suriname, which is in South America.
South America and the Maroon of South Suriname, and I grown up there, and there was no formal education like learn to read and write. So these are the general things we do, and carving when I was growing up is like writing here. Almost everybody exposed to writing, but not everybody is a good writer.
Right.
So the carving become like you're exposed to it, but some people take it to a different level.
When you were in your youth, what were you making?
Combs, like thing like this, make combs, and stools,
Right.
those are kind of things, or decorate the canoes.
Huh.
So, but I wasn't doing it for myself. I working through my family. And my uncle was doing it. I worked with them, and so people say, nobody know who's doing the carving because we don't give a little kid the credit for those things.
Right, right.
So you do it through the family. So I was really good at it. So to the point people say, well, yeah, I have something the other kid doesn't have. But what is it? I don't know. And so we all carving, doing things, but I can take it to different levels. Some of us better carving than me.
Yeah.
And I can figure out certain things quicker than the other kids. So what happened was an American anthropologist came there, and we lived there for 2 years. So my father was a tribal leader, and he put them up. And most people in the community doesn't want them to be there. They want to take him out. He and his wife.
Was he Dutch?
No, he's an American.
With American.
The white American.
Okay.
And because the reason the Maroon went to the jungles is because of the white people chased them.
Right.
And they have their community set the way they wanted. Came from Africa and doing all kinds of things. So they said, well, the reason we're here because the white people force us to be here. So we don't want any one of them,
Right.
any one of them come here, stay too long.
Right.
So my father said he and the tribal chief, they used to work together. And he said, well, you take care of it. And he said, well, the guy didn't do anything wrong. The only thing he did wrong, he's white. Well, he didn't white himself. God did make him. We shouldn't punish him for that. So he told the guy who was with him when they were talking, he said, listen, I'm supposed to join the other people kick you out of here. But I'm not going to do that. So whatever they ask you to do, anything, come to me. I have everything. So if they ask you to pay fine, I know what they're looking for. So I'll give it to you to give it to them.
Okay.
So then I wanted to go somewhere where I can get education. I didn't know how to read and write. And the American told me, said, well, whatever your father had done for us, we don't have any way to thank him for it, unless if you want to come to the States, we'll put you up the same way he put us up there. But we don't have money, we're a graduate student. So come, if you like it, you stay. If you don't like it, don't bring us.
Right.
I said, no, why? Either you make it or you don't. No big deal. That's the way I used to run my life when I was young. Either I make it, I'm happy. If I don't make it, I'm not the first one.
Yeah.
So then I came here, started going to school.
How old were you then?
I was 23, going 23.
At least you were able to, tabulate your age.
Yeah. My father he has the priest wrote it for him when I was born, so he gave it to me.
Yeah.
So I started in New Haven, Connecticut.
That's where the American was from?
That's why he was teaching at Yale. So then I started going to adult basic education, learn writing, math, and so on and so on. In the first year, I get my 8th grade. The second year is I get my high school equivalency. And I went to the Community College of New Haven.
Great.
for 2 years. Then I did well enough and I got a scholarship from the Alcoa Foundation and the Rotary International. And I transferred to Hopkins. So that's why I came to Baltimore in the first place.
Wow.
So, and I
What was your scholarship for? To study what?
studied, they told me to do whatever I want.
Okay.
So that the foundation told me, because the record's been out already. That he can do anything he wants. I get a publication and in New Haven, an article about me was in the newspaper all over the place.
Right.
So, and I came here, and the thing I used to do in the community college, get an A here at Hopkins, you bust your ass for it. If you're lucky, you get C.
Tough, right?
Oh yeah, it's a different ballgame. When people tell you it doesn't matter, it does matter. It does. But the lucky thing happened to me is when I was in New Haven, the many professors at Yale want to have me in the class to motivate the students. They say, well, how this guy can come from the jungle, do all these things, and you got born here, somebody have to push you.
Exactly.
So I used to sit in the classes with the professors and the economics, social sciences classes, and the anthropology I used to hang out with. I take all the classes, but I didn't register. The professor said, come sit in the class, see what it looks like.
Yeah, okay.
And then psychology, they will invite me, and I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the psychology.
So what did you like about, well, what was your special interest in education? Was it science or art?
Well, I was interested in studying what happened to my family,
Okay.
where they came from, how they happened to be in South America. And so I studied a lot of their
The travels over the Atlantic to South America, right?
No, not so much, but like in the Caribbean. So how so many people there.
Yeah.
So I studied the history of the
Slavery.
Yeah, Afro-American history. I studied a lot of it. And my roommate was a professor, sociology, not philosophy major in Yale, graduate student. So I learned all those things. I used to take all kinds of classes. Go sit in the class until it becomes too complicated, I drop out. I don't have anything when they come.
So what happens when you came to Hopkins?
Well, then it became really rough. And I studied hard. I keep getting C's and B's and so on. So then I transferred to the University of Baltimore.
Okay.
And that's why I get my degree in economics.
Wow.
So
So you're a money guy.
No, not the money, but I studied trying to figure out what's the difference between what makes somebody different from the Rockefeller and the rest of them.
Right. Okay.
And I said, those fathers made it for them, the Carnegie and all those guys, they had a maid before they came in.
That's true. That's true.
So some people study the Afro-American history with the angry. I didn't go into it angry because I want to see what happened. And there's all kind of books like 25 million left in Africa. Some people say, oh, bullshit, it's more than 50 or 45 million left. Well, after slavery is over in the Americans, only 5 million left. So total, include the U.S.
5 million left.
Of the black left in Africa. So there's some people say 40 million or 45 million they export to the New World.
Yeah.
But after slavery is over in the 18, whatever it is,
Right.
only 5 million left total black people in the Western.
What happened to it was not that many that were transported across the Atlantic?
No, they died. The hardship.
Right.
Think of Guyana, Suriname, and Suriname. The reason they survived well in Suriname is because the ratio. There were 200 black for one white in Suriname.
Right.
So they have overpowered them easily.
Right.
And so many places, like the Caribbean or some places, they run away as well as the other one, but they cannot go too far away.
Right.
Secondly, the government overpowered them. But the thing that really happened in Suriname is the last troop they sent after the Maroon to clean the jungle. They sent 500 soldiers came from Europe. Went after the Maroon to bring them back to slavery. Only 7 of them came back alive. So that's the time they said, well, we have to sign a peace treaty with these people. That was 1762. And they signed a peace treaty with them. And they said, well, the agreement they made, anybody escape after this, you have to bring it back because we signed a peace treaty with you. But that bullshit, they didn't do it anyway. They didn't come back and say, why should we send you back? You're one of us. Right. So slavery wasn't over in Suriname until 1863. Right. So these people have been free over 100 years before the rest of the people have been free.
Yeah, well, the Dutch were not too kind. The Dutch and the Portuguese were not too kind to releasing their slaves.
No, they didn't want to, but the fact that they want to have a peace, otherwise they're going to die out.
Yeah.
And they signed a peace treaty with them. Because the last troop, they said, this is it. Going to send 500 soldiers after them, and 7 of them came back alive.
So after you came here and you studied all this about what happened to the Africans who transported across the Atlantic, and now you have come here and acquired your degree, what has happened to your people back home in Suriname?
Well, they stayed there. I went back to work. When I get my degree, so because the aluminum company of America, Suralco, Alcoa, the reason they pay for my education because they want native people educated the American way to operate with them. Most of the people they get a higher education one all came from Europe, so they work on a different system. So I went there. Before I got there, 3 months before I got there, the army took over the government. And they stopped killing a lot of the educated ones.
So no need for you to go back.
I went and I was there. I said, this thing started here. It's not going to end here. So my family smuggled me out across the river to First Guiana. And I took a plane from there. My visa wasn't expired yet.
Okay.
I only there for 3 months. And I said, well, no, the thing, I want to see. So I told my boss, I left many, many things back there. I didn't completely pack my stuff. So let me go. He said, I'll give you 3 months to do those things. So I got back here 2 weeks after I got here. He rounded up the armies. 17 people, lawyers and judges and engineers and reporters, wiped them out.
That's in Suriname?
In Suriname.
Right.
So
you were fortunate to come back to the United States?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I called my boss.
What about your families, relatives in Suriname? Were they harmed?
They are home.
But they weren't harmed?
No, they were not. There were some of them. Then the thing developed into civil war.
I recall that.
Yeah, the civil war. So the Maroon against the government.
Right.
So later on, it became the Maroon involved.
Right.
So I called my boss, asking, said, what should I do? He said, well, listen, I need you here. But if I were in your position, I would be right where you are. But I don't mean to tell you not to come. So I said, okay. He said, I can't, my hand is tied up here. I have children in high school, grade school, and so on, so big house. So what I'm going to do, you know? So then the thing developed to a civil war. The Maroon against the government.
Right.
So I wasn't able to go.
Right.
I wrote an article published in some journals, academic journals. And then what I did, I took a copy of it with the Organization for the American State. I don't want to give it to the Suriname government people. Let the other people read them around it before they approach it. And I know what they're going to say. So I have a friend who used to work for the World Bank. So they went there looking for money. So the guy passed the application to me. It's somebody I went to school with. He said, look at it. Look, this is what the people want. I said, bullshit. The place they tell they're going to clean, it's not place to clean at all. So I wrote the article. They said I became enemy of the state. The state, Suriname.
Yep.
So I was going to Suriname, but not through Suriname. I was going to French Guiana. My father was in the interior.
Right.
At that time, you have a hard time walking.
Yeah.
So I usually go spend 2 or 3 months with them. So I will walk in the jungle, the slave route jungle. They know the path.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 days, 3 days, walk in the jungle, get to the other side.
Wow, that's a journey.
Yeah, I did it twice.
And the government didn't know that you were there.
No.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, so I did it to the.
So coming back, so
Then I came back.
uh-huh.
After I came back, I didn't prepare to be here.
Right.
So I didn't have a working permit. So I started cooking, go to work in a restaurant.
What made you do that?
Well, I needed to live.
Right.
So the best way to work to get food is to work in the restaurant. You can eat.
Well, you had friends from Johns Hopkins here.
Yeah, but when they get to the nitty gritty, you on your own. Let me believe me.
You're not friends anymore, huh?
They're friends, but it's how you doing. So that's it.
Okay, so you added to the restaurant business
Yeah, I went
as
to
a
the
cook.
restaurant cook, and I became a chef.
Oh, you became a chef.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, I became a chef in a short time. And I work around hotel, restaurant, and I opened up my own catering business.
Oh.
And then I found out later on the person who was business venture with me is a drug addict. And his money is missing. And luckily, she and her boyfriend get into trouble. And the guy called me and said, "ADIANTE, come here, I'll tell you something. The woman you work with is a drug addict. It will kill you.
Wow.
Leave the thing right now. Otherwise, you're going to get into trouble." So then I just left it. And
To do what?
well, then I opened up, I have a moving business.
Oh.
I used to move in people. I didn't buy a truck or anything, but I rent the truck when I need it and move people around. Then on the weekend, I take my work, go to the craft shows in DC.
So when were you doing the craft? When you started, when you were working in Suriname, you came back, you were working here, restaurant, moving business. When did you start going back to the craft work?
Well, I've been doing it all the time. Let me show you some of the pieces I used to make when I was in school.
Okay.
I still have some glue around. See this thing? It's almost as old as yours.
Wow.
So I used to, when I'm frustrated with my schoolwork, I carve it. So I made a bunch of pieces. I never do anything with them. I just make them carving. Instead of going to bed, I will work and do those things. And then I take some of the pieces at the craft shows in DC. And then I tell my bosses when I was cooking, say I don't work in the weekend. If you want to hire me in that condition, I'm happy to work for you. And if I cannot do the work, you can fire me anytime. I'm a pretty good cook.
Yeah.
So I will show you what I can do if you like it. But don't tell me. I don't like the idea that this is what you will pay. I want to be able to live with what I work for.
Okay.
So I tell them, say, well, I need the weekend to do my thing, but I didn't tell them this is what I'm doing. So the weekend I go to craft show, and I get to the point, and I do the moving and cooking, and go to the craft show in the weekend. Then finally, my knee stopped. I don't do the moving anymore. My old knee won't let me do the jump up and down anymore. Old bones.
Old bones. So you retired from the cooking, or you still cooking
I don't cook for a living
anymore?
No, but I enjoy cooking.
You enjoy cooking.
If you be nice to me now, from now on, then you can come. The coronavirus mess up my schedule. I have 3 times a year. I have a big event in my house where I live here in Baltimore. Invite people, everybody in the building here, and their friend will come. Sometimes we have 50 people in my backyard, and I cook. I enjoy cooking.
What's your specialty?
Oh, whatever comes to my head. I don't.
Are you a fish person, a seafood person, a meat
I'm
person?
everything person. I don't even own a cookbook.
Maybe that's the thing for you to go to next.
Yeah. So
now with the carving, Show us some of the things that have become exciting to the people in Baltimore, like you have here.
Okay, well, I'll show you some of the things I started making. This is an Ankh mirrors. This one. And cutting boards.
Yeah. Now you have several types in
several
there.
types.
Okay. Could you name what they are?
The wood you mean?
Yes, the woods.
Okay, well, let's start with from. Tell me what this is easier for me. This is the natural colors of all the wood.
Yes.
So let's start. This is purple heart. It's hardwood from South America. Maple, American wood. Peruvian walnut, wood from Peru.
Wow.
And this is called sapere, wood from Africa. And then the list goes on.
So how do you get all these woods? You import them here?
No. They import. Somebody import them, or I buy them here.
Oh, okay.
I go to place where they sell exotic wood.
Okay.
And I buy them and put them together. I say, I pronounce you now husband and wife.
And you glue them together.
I glue them together. I said, no, I pronounce you husband and wife. This is no divorce here.
Yeah,
no separation.
you function as a cutting board.
So then before, I used to make all kinds of things. I used to make, let me show you something. This is a CD case I used to make.
Oh, for CDs?
Yeah, CDs, but nobody buy them.
CDs out of play now.
Yeah. So I carved the frame, make a really, really fancy carving in the frame there. Let me show you something. My best selling item is this is a hall table. You put it in the hallway.
Oh yeah.
And when you come in,
you walk through it.
So you put your key, your wallet. So the burglar doesn't have to mess up with the whole place to find the wallet.
Right there.
Right there.
Does it carry a drawer underneath or anything?
So what I do is, this is a basic one.
Right.
So if you want it with the drawer, then you tell me that I want one with the drawer.
Yeah.
Then I make it for you with the drawer. Then I make all this.
Yeah, this is very exciting.
This is a mirror frame.
Yeah.
And all the wood I made a cutting board with, I put them in here. This is the natural colors of all the wood.
And then you put the mirror inside.
Put the mirrors. I'm working on.
And I suppose you can make it any different sizes.
Every different sizes. So then we move on, and then, like for example, make mirror frames.
So do the carvings have any meaning?
Well, no. The thing is, I create things I think it look nice on the place.
Okay.
Then I take it away from there. And you see this? Used to be a comb. I want to give it to the mirror though.
for his hair.
So then I make small cutting boards. And for cheese, or some people have a small apartment. And then I make mirror frames, carved mirror frame. The back is I'll put the mirror here.
Yeah. I
just work and I haven't fixed it yet, but I have to put another coat on it. And then I move from there. I make a big mirror frames.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
So let's take, for example, this particular piece you have will take you how long to do?
No,
with the mirror included.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, time and quality doesn't go well together.
Right.
So what I do is I'm not concerned the time it will take me. I have to finish it perfectly well.
Okay.
Because I know some people out there can carve better than I do. So I don't want them to see my work and say, why he did this so roughly?
Yeah.
So even if I take me a month or so, they have to be proud of what I did.
When you finished, right?
When I finish. Then I make something like this.
What is that?
This African handheld mirrors of Africa.
Ah! Interesting.
Yeah.
Now you have to cut the mirror to fit into that.
Yeah, it's no joke.
I could imagine.
It's no joke.
It's not straight.
That's why they don't have the mirror in it.
Yeah. Wow.
So I make them usually. It depends where you go to craft shows.
Yes.
Different people buy, different ethnic group people buy different things.
Right.
So this thing doesn't pay much to white folk as much, but black folks and the ADIANTE also.
Yeah.
So I haven't been doing them much anymore. But then the Corona came. I don't go to craft show anymore. And this is the finishing curry board.
Yeah.
This is the one with the handle.
I like the one that is oblong in the center there.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
And some of these you don't even want to use them. You just want to hang them up.
Yeah, that's true. There's sometimes I make some pieces I don't want to sell them, but I need the money because I like it themselves. And the small handheld mirrors.
Right. So this is what you're doing full time now, or since you?
I do full-time.
Right.
And then I make coffee tables. And I don't want to show this one. I didn't make it. This one I didn't make it. It came from Ghana, the homeland. My family, most of it came from Ghana.
Oh, the Maroons are from Ghana.
Yeah, the Saramaka Maroons.
Are from Ghana.
Ghana, Dahomey, Benin, and Zaire. Those are three places. They named the villages after many of the villages in the interior name after some place in Africa.
Yeah.
So the name you can tell that not this is from different place.
Different parts of
There's a place called
Ghana.
Luango. There's a place in Africa called Luango as well.
Yeah.
So let me unveil this one for you to show you.
Wow.
So what I did was in the exhibit I have in the Creative Alliance, the piece goes in here, I put it there.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have it here, but this is the way I designed it. You can pick it up. If you're moving, pop this up. This is mahogany, by the way. It's old.
Mahogany.
Yeah. And this maple. I don't remember what the wood is. I think a Peruvian walnut is a dark one. Inlay round. So
When you put out these pieces, are people aware of the different types of woods that you have put together here?
well, some people say most people think I paint them because of the different colors.
Right.
But it's not true. If you look in the back, the wood go through there.
Yeah, right, true.
Yeah. So I go to the place where they sell exotic wood and I buy them. So some people, the interesting thing I found is if I quote people some prices and they say, well, kind of steep, kind of high. I said, well, go buy the wood and bring it to me, then I will do the work for you, then I will only charge you for the time, my time. So some people will go to the place where they sell the wood and they call me so expensive. I said, well, that's the same place I want to get it. I'm not there to charge you.
Right.
So buy the wood, they come and say, oh, maybe you can do better than I do. Because if I buy it, they'll give me like a 10% discount.
Right.
Because I'm a business person.
Right. And also you know what to buy.
I know what to buy and the people know me and so on. So.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
I like that chair you have over there, which you have in the Alliance exhibit, this one here,
Yeah.
where you can pack it up
Yeah.
and travel with it.
If you don't want to sit on it or you don't want people to sit on it while you're gone, just fold it and put it behind the couch.
Wow.
Throw it back, the zoom.
Is it easy to get out of it? I mean, people who with a certain weight restriction.
Well, that's a different issue. Well, issue like mine, I don't have it.
No, I know you.
Yeah, so you can sit on it, lay back, and
it's good for your back.
yeah. What happened is it's difficult to make one chair to fit everybody's back. So when I'm making them, my back is the model for it.
Ah,
So I sit on it to see how I feel.
before you.
Yeah, I cut it a little bit long till I get it the way I want it. So if your back cannot fit it in my back, that's your problem. So I cannot make one to fit everybody's shape.
I understand.
And this is the comb I was thinking of.
Now, he will have to hang that in his office.
Yeah.
He can't use it for his hair.
That's
You have to send him one of the smaller ones.
Decorative kind of, but that's this. But I want to send it to the mayor.
Brandon would love it. Yes. Now, this is an interesting piece you have here. Explain what this piece is here.
Well, I didn't make it.
Oh,
I was doing moving from people's home, and they were about to throw it out.
mm-hmm.
So I was interested in it.
Yeah.
I said, I can bring it home for my wine cooler.
Yeah.
Ta-da, open it.
You put some ice down in there, huh?
Yeah. So when the people throw it out. So I pretend I'm going to throw it out, but I like it. So what I have to do now is I have to
line it?
laminate in the inside,
Right.
so it will hold water and so on. So
Yeah.
I found the products to do it already.
Oh, okay. So it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I find it's very interesting,
Right. Well, I did enjoy this tour of your studio. I hope that lots of people will watch this, and I'm going to put your email and phone number on the site, and look out for the calls.
Yeah, sure. You got a picture of the earrings?
Yeah, well, no, you were about to show me those.
Oh, okay. See?
Yep.
One. This is my favorite one.
That's your favorite?
Yeah.
Why is that? Because of the many pieces inside?
Many pieces.
Right.
And the shape of it.
Yep.
And I have the second one is my favorite. Second favorite is this one. Ta-da. See different colors of wood in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And see the other one here. And that's the different woods I put together.
Mm-hmm.
Smooth. So that's the story. And I tell people they come just like a human being, all sizes and
shapes.
and colors. This is my bestseller one.
Do you have a name for any of them?
Too much work to put
Too much work to give a name, huh?
Yeah.
Hearts of Love. Yep.
Yeah. So that's it. That's it. There are many more. Look at different shapes.
Ah, I like that half moon.
Yeah.
Or the half a sun.
You have something.
Excellent. Excellent.